In continuation of our History of the Covenant Races series, we are going to take a look at the little guys in the Covenant forces, aka the Unggoy Grunts. We all know that these guys are pretty much bullet sponges for the rest of the Covenant, but there is much to their history and a very interesting one that the common fan needs to know. Let's start off with some basic information. They are called Grunts, the homeworld of Balaho. The average height is about 168 centimeters, 5 feet and 6 inches. The average weight of a grunt is 118 kilograms, aka 260 pounds. Their tech level before joining the Covenant is at tier 6. The tech level before over-industrialization is tier 4. He's gonna kill us all! Little is known of the Unggoy culture, as most of it has been washed out due to the role in the Covenant. Being forced to produce millions for war will do that to your race though. The little that we do know is that the Unggoy live in matriarchal tribal societies. Let's speak of the homeworld. Reigning from the homeworld of Balaho, Unggoy are built for harsh, rugged terrain. Balaho is much different than Earth. The environment would not be able to sustain human life without special equipment due to the extreme levels of methane gas in the atmosphere. The Unggoy thrive off methane, although it is the cause of them having to wear methane tanks as they cannot live off oxygen. Great pillars of fire spew out of the planet naturally, and the rest of Balaho is a mixture of swamps and mountainous terrain. The Grunts have adapted to all these extremes as their bodies have been made for crawling up rocky cliff sides, explaining why the Grunts have a slight waddle as they walk. Much has been said of the Unggoy reproductive cycles. We know that they both quickly and easily reproduce, laying large clusters of eggs with short time needed before hatching. Once hatched, the young Unggoy have a very short childhood phase and quickly develop the traits of the adults. Point being that 1,000 Unggoy would be 10,000 in a very short amount of time. The Covenant, vicious and unforgiving, had no problems with taking advantage of the Unggoy's reproduction capabilities. Basically, they're worth a dime a dozen, as they force the Grunts to breed rapidly to fuel the fires of war. A few thousand Grunts die, and before you know it, they are replaced by their offspring. In non-war times, strict laws are placed on Unggoy breeding, as overpopulation is a major threat. Before the firing of the rings, the Unggoy culture was devastated from over-industrialization as the planet's biosphere was destroyed, which is something the Unggoy were never really able to fully recover from. You're dead! Run away! Unggoy were the 8th species to be integrated into the Covenant about 411 years before the end of the Human Covenant War, roughly in the year 2142. At this time, the Unggoy were not able to return to the civilization they had before the firing of the Halo array, even after 100,000 years worth of time in evolution. In their time within the Covenant, the Unggoy have never really been much more than slaves to the Covenant, as we have all become familiar with in our time in Halo. They do, however, stand together sometimes and rebel back against their harsh treatment. The climax of this coming was when the intense rivalry between the Unggoy and the Kig-Yar met an all-time high. Attempting to sterilize the Unggoy, some Kig-Yar poisoned narcotics that the Unggoy highly enjoyed. The constant abuse from all the members of the Covenant eventually caused the Unggoy to lash out against the Covenant in the year 2462. This was called simply the Unggoy Rebellion. As far as you know, as well as from this video, the Unggoy didn't go down as easy as you would think. They fought hard and used their large numbers to fight off the Covenant and the superior races that bullied the Unggoy for centuries. As hard as the little Grunts fought, they were still eventually put down, but not before an arbiter was put into service and the planet was nearly glassed. the Singeli surprisingly welcomed the Unggoy back into their ranks and forgave them for their revolt, and earned a newfound respect for the Unggoy. Now giving them weapons to use against the enemy, they were not just expandable decoys. The Unggoy are still the lowest member of the Covenant and still vastly mistreated. As much as they may hate it, the Unggoy more than likely owe the species' survival to their integration. Balaho was becoming more and more deadly with its extreme 2 winters. Survival was becoming a major issue with the Unggoy. The Covenant gave them food, supplies, and a newfound purpose. The birth rate skyrocketed and the average life expectancy doubled. This safety kept them constant to their role in the Covenant.
Can I have his helmet?
The civil war within the Covenant near the end of the Human Covenant War had little effect on the Unggoy. The Unggoy were not entirely loyal to the beliefs of the Great Journey, mostly serving the Covenant out of fear instead of their beliefs. During the splitting of the Covenant, the Grunts didn't choose a side, remaining only loyal to whoever they were serving at the time. The exact reasons why the Unggoy stayed with their groups aren't entirely known, but the most possible reason was purely out of fear of their leaders. It is noted that many Unggoy serving under the Brutes sided with the Singeli and praised the Arbiter. Hiding it from the Brutes was more than likely top priority, as they would no doubt be given a horrific death if their true loyalties were shown.
No running, fight!
After the war, the Unggoy continued doing what they did best, serving others. A large percentage stayed in the military, joining or being drafted into various factions of the now split Covenant, while some went on to serve the Singeli on their homeworld as farmers and servants. The Unggoy homeworld Balaho seems to still mostly be uninhabited, and the large populations of Unggoy in the post-war era. Many in Oni speculate that many vessels and colonial facilities are under control of an Unggoy faction, yet no large Unggoy factions have been discovered within the human colonies. With the end of the war, the future of the Unggoy is unknown. Only time will tell what they become without the Covenant entirely controlling them.
Leader dead! Run away!
We all know that the Unggoy are individually weak, bad soldiers, and can generally be described as cowards. Their morale is very low. They run away in fear whenever the battle turns against them, and yet, how many times have Unggoy got the jump on you? More than you probably realized. As a group, they can be fierce, and give them plasma grenades and a fuel rod cannon, and they become deadly little enemies. At times, they can be the most committed and brave, as they seem to have no problems with changing into battle as suicide bombers. They have no true allegiances, which may be their greatest advantage. They will thrive off whoever casts them into service, and honestly, we can't see them stopping this trend for a very long time. Survival is a purpose of any Unggoy and may be what allows them to flourish, while others are more honorable and looking for combat may die out. If there is anything the Unggoy know, it is, when in doubt, flee. Thank you guys so much for watching this history lesson on the Unggoy, aka the lovely grunts we have seen since the beginning of Halo. If you enjoyed, be sure to like this video up and subscribe here on HaloFollower for plenty more of your Halo news and entertainment. Catch you guys next time.